Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Cult Classic Podcast. Cameron Jones here with my co-host,
Mark Nussle.
Jordan Jones. I do have to apologize. I've got a cold.
He's got a bit of the sniffles.
So this is what I'm going to sound like. Got a little sniffles. I will not apologize for anything I say, though. Hopefully that still stays.
You do sound a little bit like Kermit the Frog. You do.
It's not easy being green. What's he say?
After all, there's one more sweet till Christmas.
And then a bunch of other songs.
Well, as promised, we're giving you the Back to the Future trilogy, and we're on to part 2, Back to the Future.
Where we're going, we don't need roads.
Time-traveling duo Marty McFly and Dr. Emmett Brown jump straight into a new time adventure after successfully delivering Marty back from the 50s. This time, the pair must save Marty's future son from disaster, only to discover that their actions have altered their own timeline. In this nightmarish version of Hill Valley, Marty and Doc must right the wrong that they've created, embarking on a mission to repair the space-time continuum. Back to the Future, Part 2.
Starring Michael J. Fox, Christopher Lloyd, Tom Wilson.
Nobody calls me chicken.
This has got Nike McFlies, it's got hoverboards, it's got a really wrong future, a really incorrect 2015.
Back to the Future, Part 2.
Cast and crew. Directed by Robert Zemeckis, same as the first one.
Yeah, for this, we're going to kind of go quickly through. For, if you want more information, see our first episode first. But
much like any sequel, if you didn't catch us on the first one, just jump in and do your best. You should have started with the first one.
Michael J. Fox, Christopher Lloyd, not Crispin Glover, I guess.
No,
nope.
His antics were not warranted for a second appearance. Hollywood said, "Take a break. We'll call you in 1997 for Willard."
But Billy Zane's back.
Oh yeah, there's actually a fact about that too. He didn't have to be.
James Tolkien's back. We brought some people back. Leah Thompson's back as Lorraine. Elizabeth Shue is Jennifer.
So you're gonna know Elizabeth Shue from another 80s classic. Couple classics in there for sure. So. Karate Kid.
Well, yeah.
Karate Kid's a classic.
We gotta
right?
get this kid some Dayquil. Jordan.
Oh, you don't think that I've been taking it like I've been carrying on myself like an alcoholic does.
Jordan.
I took a swig right before I came here. If you want to, it doesn't do anything. Girlfriend and Karate Kid. She's also stars as the lead character in Adventures in Babysitting.
Classic Chicago one. Famously, she had to take over after the previous Jennifer stepped down actually from acting. Her mom got sick, and she decided just to move back home to take care of her.
What'd they say to Crispin Glover?
We'll get to that a little more on Unverified, but right. Famously, he was difficult to work with. He asked for too much money, so he was replaced by Jeffrey Wiseman, who played the new George McFly with heavy prosthetics and things. And those are the two new people brought on. Go back and see the first episode for a deeper dive on cast and crew. Let's move it on to Unverified. Welcome to the Cult Classics Movie Phone. It's November 22nd, 1989, and currently in theaters, you could have seen Christmas Vacation, Prancer, that other
I've heard
Christmas
that's bad.
movie.
I've heard that one's bad.
Harlem Nights, All Dogs Go to Heaven. Never seen the end of that. I assume I know the ending though.
Oh,
some dogs go to hell, I think, but yeah, most
there's
of them go to
isn't
heaven.
there Cult Classics podcast lore about this
Yeah,
movie?
There's a reason I haven't seen it. The Little Mermaid. Steel.
I think you were waiting for a reaction there. Apparently, that's your favorite Disney movie.
Nope. I like The Lion King and Steel Magnolias, a Jones family favorite, at least my mom. But you chose Back to the Future, Part 2.
You want a hot take on someone who can't talk but grew up underwater most of their lives? Not going to be a good dating situation. Not going to be good to date.
Is it the Little Mermaid?
Yeah. She comes on land. She can't talk, But all her
gotcha.
all her social cues are being underwater fish human. But on top of that, she's royalty. So there's no way she's going to handle it right. That's all I'm saying. Beautiful voice.
Okay, so just to get this one out of the way, so we don't beat around the bush. The reason the plotline of George McFly got cut down to him being
What's those
dead,
things people walk on? Feet.
Crispin Glover was famously, I think kind of difficult on the first movie. He was very nervous. He had to redo all of his lines. But also, when they got called back for the sequel, he was angry that he wasn't getting paid as much as Lorraine and Biff. But producers argued that that was your first role. This is kind of standard for a starting actor. They have more roles and experience. They cost a little more. So he kind of just made some demands, and then he just declined to come back. So
God damn it, Crispin.
To get around that, they just decided to cut George's plot down to where he would either be upside down or his face would be covered or he was dead. So that's why
he's out of focus as well.
Or out of focus. So all the prequel stuff you see, that's just shots of someone's back with the prosthetic nose on. Same guy though, when it's flipped upside down, just a prosthetic on some guy. You're right. It's not Crispin Glover, someone new.
Not too bad though.
No, pretty good. Tricked Mark up until
bad at all.
5
Tricked
minutes
me
ago.
Up. Yeah.
Question.
Tricked
now,
me up cool.
There wasn't a new plot line or extended plot line they had. He was just going to have more actual screen time, right?
Yeah, well, they did have a few different variations. Initially, instead of going to a Biff world, they were going to be going to the 60s where Lorraine and George were going to be protesters, but mathematically it didn't add up for them to be in college then, so they had to scrap that.
Oh, so it worked out for the better or the worse. Depends how you are in Biff world. We'll get to that.
Yeah, true. I think I could have liked that a little more. What else do you guys got now that we kind of touched on that big one?
I'll throw you out a couple, if not fun ones, just facts. Budget, $40 million, made a cool $332.9 million at the box office.
Ooh, nice.
Not too bad.
It's not too bad. Is that better? How much did the first one do, though?
Jesus, go back to our first one. I don't have all my... I don't know. If you listen to these consecutive weeks, pretty close. I think they were blockbusters. This one's a little fun, right? It does seem like there's a lot of foreshadowing and alluding to the Wild Wild West third one. That's because they shot these movies consecutive and only took about 3 weeks between principal shooting. Between the second one and the third one. So there
were some scenes, of course, they did have to shoot in advance. It's mostly the stuff in present day. It's the ending scenes.
Well, I was about to say, what do you mean, the ending scene where they definitely tell you that there's going to be another one in Wild Wild West?
Yeah, it's essentially that one. Wild Wild West.
Wicka wicka wild wild. Wicka wild wild.
So I didn't know this,
wild,
but
I'm West.
Are you guys happy or not that this exists? So apparently in one of the commemorative releases, I think it's the 30th anniversary, they included a short movie that was Christopher Lloyd reprising Doc Brown saying a quick story is hey, so there's a reason there aren't flying cars and hoverboards now. Turns out everyone got really fat. It turned into Wall-E. And then also all those flying cars, it went atomic and we created a doomsday. So Doc tells us that he goes back in time and stops hoverboards and flying cars from ever existing. And that's why our current timeline is what it is.
Make all the shorts you want. Do whatever you want. Everything you want around it. That's cool.
So check out the 30th anniversary DVD release for that. Or I'm sure you can just,
What year did that come out then?
2015.
Oh, so that is past.
Not too far.
That is past, though, the primetime DVD extra stage in our lives.
True.
Which I think ran about 2005 to 2010.
Although, fun fact, I was watching one of the commemorative releases that bandmate Chris Reimer has, and it's the steel plate one. So I was watching special features. It was nice. Love special features. Yeah.
Oh, in the Biff World 2015, we can see. Oh no, that's not Biff World. That's just the future.
Just the future.
We can see a movie. I think it's Jaws 19, directed by Max Spielberg.
Ooh.
Who was born in 1985, just that year.
Is that Steven Spielberg's kid?
Yep.
Okay, well, cool.
Do you want to hear something kind of crazy off that? Oh, I wrote it down. It's so long I have to find it. Do you want to hear the title for all the Jaws movies that were in between that? Because they created that.
I absolutely
So
do.
the fake teaser trailer for the non-existing Jaws 19 was released also October 21st, 2015.
Jeez.
I think with that release. And it describes all the Jaws movies. So here are the taglines. Jaws made you afraid to go in the water. Jaws 2 made you afraid to go back in the water. Jaws 3D, a new dimension in terror. The Revenge, it was personal. Jaws 5, was just business. Jaws 6 was pure pleasure, suggesting a romantic subplot. Jaws 7 was Cyber Jaws. Jaws 8 was Robo Jaws, a spin-off of RoboCop.
That one might actually be fun.
Jaws 9 featured Chef Brody's grandson assembling a team of super shark hunters. Jaws 10 was man versus shark versus all the terrors of the deep. They would have introduced a giant squid.
Ooh.
Jaws 11 took place in outer space.
There
Jaws 12 was a prequel. And Jaws 13 was...
lasers.
Jaws 13 was Jaws 12 Part 2, a sequel to the prequel. Jaws 14 had Jaws and starting a family. Jaws 15 battled a Russian shark named Ivan.
Oh, that one's good.
And those were all the plots of the Jawses up to that one.
You can go back and listen to Jaws 1, our take on it,
true.
in the back catalog. Black like a doll's eyes.
Sure can.
Black like a doll's eyes.
You might be wondering in the future 80s cafe, is that a young Elijah Wood at that arcade game?
Yeah.
Sure is. It's actually Elijah Wood's first on-roll appearance.
Oh, really? He really tears it up in the coming years. I know we won't get to him in recasting, but tossing Krumholtz. Give me a young Krumholtz there.
Sure. You can have it, buddy. You can have it. So this is kind of interesting. So this movie had a lot of shots of the same actor acting with themselves on screen. So the most complex kind of camera work and effects they had to do for the movie was a VistaGlide system. So essentially the camera
was
was...
Doc or was it Marty? I'm trying to think of...
Actually with everybody. Doc,
really?
Doc in the past when he's looking at the weather experiment.
That's a great scene.
That's probably the best one.
And then Marty plays multiple family members in the future, plus himself in different areas. But it was with a VistaGlide system. So essentially they would have it tracked. They would have to like film the exact same scene. And then they would just have to later cut around areas to have like, the two images work together.
It looks way better than any of like the DeLorean or hoverboard shit they did. Like,
there's only a few times where it looks really funny, and it's because it was a blue screen and you can tell the lighting's different. That's why most of the time the lighting's
probably the weirdest
same.
one, even though I enjoy it, is probably when Marty and Lorraine are in the car in the first one. That plays a little like a screen.
Yeah, that's
but
the
I'm
biggest
into it.
one.
That's
the biggest one I would
I'm fine with it. But isn't this better, though, it's like that than versus today it'd just be motion capture and you'd react at all?
True. That's true.
Or maybe
Instead
it's not.
they were reacting to nothing anyway, just them in 5 more seconds.
That's true.
So do you guys remember thinking for a second that hoverboards could be real?
Never thought it, but sure.
Well, apparently Robert Zemeckis made a joke in promotional stuff saying, because it says Mattel on it, he's like, oh yeah, this is just a magnetic anomaly that exists that Mattel has, but it's too dangerous to market. And Mattel was flooded with phone calls about people thinking that was real, and Mattel had to do it.
There was like a viral video like a couple years ago that like
more recently there was, I remember that.
I feel like the hoverboard, along with the lightsaber from Star Wars, are two things that people keep telling me these exist. We can make them. They just don't want us to. It's like, okay, shut the fuck up.
Sure,
okay. If they existed, they'd exist. I mean, I think a hoverboard has a better chance than...
It's like quicksand. Like you thought you were going to experience that more in your life than you did, like a hoverboard.
Well, I guess you don't know my life. I've just run into quicksand a lot.
Acid rain.
Oh, yeah.
I've seen either of them once in my life. You might be wondering, did Billy Zane have to do this movie? No. Despite becoming an established actor in significant roles by then, Billy Zane reprised a small role because the franchise was so fun.
Yeah, why not? How long did he shoot that? Like
absolutely
a few weeks?
Stunning.
He had fat face makeup for it. I mean, he had to do at least a few hours of work. I was curious about if this made less than Back to the Future 1 because apparently Robert Zemeckis was always very unhappy with the way Universal marketed the movie. He wanted it to be clear that this was a bridge movie and that there was a 3 coming, but they just marketed it as another standalone movie, and it was probably going to be like the conclusion. So a lot of people were angered at the to be continued at the end of the movie, and word of mouth kind of spread. And I did hear that it did not
to be
hit
concluded.
As high. That's true. To be concluded.
To be concluded.
That's true. If that's true, if they did at least get they told us what's up.
I wish streaming services
one and done. One more.
I wish every streaming show had to be like to be continued or to be concluded, because I just don't want to get hooked for another 4 seasons. Just let me know when it ends, and I'll join you back at the end of it.
Did you guys know about like the clock tower injury scene that stayed in the film?
No. Actually,
Cheryl Wheeler Duncan, she's a stunt double for Darlene Vogel. She's the other girl on the Mad Dog or the Pitbull like thing.
Say those names again. Those are stunning names.
Darlene Vogel, Wheeler Duncan, and Darlene Vogel.
Wheeler Duncan. Can you imagine?
Well, she's
Wheeler Duncan. You get your ass back in here.
Well, Cheryl Wheeler Duncan is a stunt double, so maybe not all those names are real. But so you know the scene where they fly into the city hall and they go through the glass?
Yeah, I have a comment. I'm gonna just say it now. They die, right?
Well, it'd be pretty bad. Well, if you look, actually, there was a problem on the day with the rigging, and Darlene Vogel was injured when she, instead of going through the glass, slammed into one of the cement pillars and then fell 30 feet onto the cement. And if you look, it's in there. She like all the guys crash into the building, and then you see her just smack onto the like floor outside of the building in the shot. So check that out. They kept that injury in.
Yowza.
Again, this has a lot of material, so if you want facts, definitely go out, check some documentaries, check out the movies that made us, check out all those fun sources. But if you want to hear some fun thoughts and opinions, we're going to move it on to questions.
Comments.
Animosities.
QCA. First comment, never noticed the recasting as a kid. Didn't notice the new Jennifer. Didn't notice the new Crispin Glover. If people hadn't told me the Crispin Glover one, I never would have known.
If I didn't have to do research for this podcast, Crispin Glover is in this movie. Jennifer's in this movie. It's just...
Well, you're right. You're right.
Hey, you're right. Spot on. They nailed it.
It wasn't that bad, Jeffrey.
Can I
Gates?
give you even more embarrassing? I know it now, but I did not realize that Michael J. Fox played Marty McFly's daughter in there.
Oh, that always got.
Slow to the roll on that one. I was. Can I say a like that I okay?
Mm-hmm.
I'm a 1, 2, 3er. I think this one's great,
Sure.
but man, this is an action adventure movie. It just moves all except for like 10 minutes in Biff World. It is just go go go.
That's also because though it's a bridge movie, meaning we have to get to the point so that the third one makes
Lots
sense.
of bridge movies though just set up plot points but don't move.
That's true.
This one actually moves.
You said
as
1, 2,
a
3.
bridge.
I think I was 1, 2, 3 last episode. 2
You switched?
2 is really ramping up for me right now.
I've always been
I
a
don't
2 1
know.
3.
I love 2.
I've always
Listen,
been 2 1 3.
guys,
You get one.
Cam, you're 2, 1, 3.
I'm a 2 1 3. I'm not a big
Okay.
3 person at all, to be fair.
I'm still 1, 2, 3, but 2 is. I mean, it's right there.
1, 2,
It's
3 is
because
the
it's-
right answer, but you're not wrong if you like 2 the most.
I
Yeah.
don't think there's
No,
a
you're
wrong
not.
answer unless you go 3 and then something.
Shout out our mom.
She likes 3 the best?
She sure does.
No fucking way. I'll have to ask
You don't
her
even
about
know the woman.
that. I love all the storytelling from the second one and the different angles. And obviously the future world's awesome. I just think the first movie is like a better complete story.
I agree.
Sure.
That's why the correct answer is 1, 2, 3. It's just 2's fun. Gives you so many.
2 is fun.
It's just fun. I have an animosity for you. So
Go
Doc's
ahead.
always trying to keep the DeLorean under wraps, the time machine, but then he picks up Marty and Jennifer
He's doing a bad job.
in the
He's
middle of
doing
the
a bad
day,
job of it.
flying. Like not only does Biff
Flying.
clearly see, but like it's the middle of the day in a suburbs like street. Like everybody's like 20 people saw that.
I have written here, Doc just is not being careful at all.
He's-
I'm
not
gonna
being
even
careful.
want to up it to that. I agree totally. Doc's so hard on Marty, but then he brings what's the girlfriend's name?
Jennifer.
He brings Jennifer. He's like, just leave her in the alley. It'll be fine. We're only going to be gone for 4 hours.
Well, like his explanation in the car doesn't even make sense. He's like, I had to bring her. She saw the time machine. So did 20 other people. Like,
So did Biff. Yeah. So did,
like you're still,
so
you're
did
still gonna have to
everybody else.
You're still gonna have to explain that when she comes to in like 3 hours in the car in the present.
And on top of that, Doc, you're yelling at the fucking top of your lungs everything too, Marty.
That's true.
Oh no, your son. Oh no.
Honestly,
and
Doc, slow down. We've fucked everything up from the first movie. The world is not the same anymore.
That's true.
You
no,
fucked
it's
it up.
completely over.
And also, like,
Yeah.
maybe, Doc, maybe you should just go to Marty in his 30s and be like, hey, you remember time travel. We've been on adventures. I've gone a little further. You're raising a shitty kid. Be a
Kid,
better
yeah.
parent. So this way I don't cause paradox. Like, you don't need to bring back
Get
younger.
out of the future. Don't time travel anymore. Just
Can't
tell Marty
he-
what's
Why
up.
bring back Marty at all? And again, animosity, he ain't learned nothing. He's still so flagrant in the future when he's just wandering around and like interacting with people.
Yep.
Like, keep a low profile. Did you not learn anything in that
You
week?
called me chicken?
Well, yeah.
Oh man, that I will say though, in Marty's defense, Don't fucking call me chicken.
Don't call me chicken. Don't
fucking call me chicken. I will just. That is it.
Do not call
that
me
is enough.
Zemeckis and Gale said they kind of regretted not having any real character flaws for Marty in the first movie, so that's why they wrote the chicken thing in as a concept for his character.
I mean, he was kind of a dick.
He was a dummy. He was aloof. He caused so many problems.
I'd say the biggest thing is I don't even know why we need to save Marty's kid from going to prison. Whatever. If we're risking the whole existence of humanity and whatever goes on,
I'm with you here.
We already know in 1985, Doc and Marty already know time travel exists. Just tell Marty, hey, watch out for this.
That's what I'm saying.
Like keep an eye on your son.
Don't drag
Simple fix.
Kid Marty into the future again. And why wouldn't you think that's going to cause more problems? He's so inconsistent about what is a problem and what won't be in his mind, you know?
Yeah, that time you gave him Bush Light just as a sip. Yeah, don't do that.
I'd love to see what Doc's doing on his own time. You know he's fucking things up.
So this was a crazy depiction of the future, but it kind of is my favorite depiction of the future. Just comment. I mean, a lot of 80 ones were kind of dystopian, kind of Blade Runner-y, but like this was fun.
Dude,
this is as fun as it gets.
I hated this future.
You hate it, but
hated
Mark,
this
it's so
future.
happy. I mean, granted, Hill Valley's always like
now
a
look.
piece
Don't you
of
love
shit.
the swings they're taking?
They got it all.
Those guys are
They got
taking
it
cuts
all
at
well,
it.
except for Biff Towers.
Well, yeah, they got that right.
No, sorry.
I mean, they kind of got. We do some thumb stuff, not for
They
doors.
were a little behind on Biff. It happened in 2016 though in our alternate
Yeah,
universe, right?
that's correct. Yep, enough
That
on
is
that.
correct. I like the swings they took. Big on the shoes. Hoverboard can't miss, you know.
The drying jacket. Granted, he's still walking around in soggy pants. That's the dry shirt.
Got an
but-
animosity.
Animosity.
Sure.
Marty, he's pushing Mongo.
Oh, I was actually angry about that. The Velcro strap on the hoverboard.
He's pushing Mongo.
The Velcro strap on the hoverboard should be.
Wait, I don't know what you mean.
He's pushing. He's pushing
nobody will
weird.
know what we mean.
It's a skating term to say he's pushing with the opposite foot in the wrong spot. But
Oh, okay.
But
he's on the back of the board.
But if you notice, I was gonna say animosity. The strap should be on the front of the board so you can keep your plant foot securely in. They have
Understood.
They have,
That's why Mongo's the whole thing.
they have the strap
Is this
on. The,
hoverboard rules though, or hoverboard's different?
hey, question, kind of an animosity in that scene.
Yep.
Why isn't anyone intervening on this huge assault happening in the town square? The 50s, I get it a little more. Kids will be kids. Sometimes they beat people publicly. But in the future, you see like a line of cops in front of that bank just watching them getting ready to tee off on Marty's head.
With a baseball bat.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe that's.
With a goddamn
Maybe even try to like, yo, kid,
Maybe that's a
get
thing
down.
that
They're going to
happens.
beat you to death in front of everybody.
I'm gonna beat you with a baseball bat.
Go back and see our
Go back
Field
and
of
listen.
Dreams.
Yeah. I don't know, man. You know how it is. No harm, no foul. Like nobody wants to get in the way of crazy people.
Yeah.
And then eventually
police-
somebody steps in when it's too late.
There's a bunch of police right there. You see him in the shot, but sure.
Can I just say, when he like zaps Jennifer to sleep, like you didn't remember?
It's just chloroform, Mark. That's all it is.
No, I know.
Yeah.
Like, should we let Doc have that? I mean, that
Well,
doesn't
we
seem
are
safe.
we are actually, even though we saw the first movie, we do have to reiterate, disgraced Doc Brown in 1985.
That's true.
Well, at the
Disgrace.
time, correct.
I did
You're
kind of
right.
have a funny
Yep.
thought. You know when that
It's definitely not that right there is not a future machine. That's a
And
1985,
that's
probably
why he has a
1975,
sleep-inducing generator.
Yeah,
why
I
he
did
has
I did
that?
kind of a funny thought. You know, at the end of the movie when Marty's like looking at the paper and like, my dad's not dead. The match has changed. Doc holds up the thing. It's still Doc Brown committed. Can't change that.
It switched.
Well,
It switched.
while we're on that note, isn't it great that even though the history changed, they still make the paper for their accomplishments
Yeah.
on the same day?
Family's doing
That's
great.
a happy coincidence.
Yeah, that's good. That's pretty good.
Yeah, but what they got wrong in 2015 is that we've got newspapers.
Yeah.
Yeah,
We don't have-
they missed on that.
Yeah.
But
We
how
don't
could
have
they have?
those.
How could they have told? Like,
Foreseen.
man, they probably were like, newspapers will never go away. It's the newspaper, but they were wrong.
That's true.
They were wrong.
I have a
Do we want flying cars?
what-
I don't think that people should be able to fly.
unless there's
There's no way
yeah.
I need.
I need a
Harrison Ford is-
self-flying car,
is
so I'm
awesome.
not worrying about some asshole hitting me out of the sky.
Yeah, that's true.
So I have a question and kind of maybe an animosity with a paradox. So
Uh-oh.
old Biff takes the car in the future, right?
Yep.
He goes to the
Yeah,
past,
Sees. Yep.
and then when he goes back into the future again,
It should have already been changed, right?
he shouldn't be able to come back.
Oh. But do we ever go back? Do we ever see that future though?
So what Cameron's saying is
I
he comes.
get what he's saying, but do we ever see that future?
Yeah, it's Biff World. It turns into Biff World. Like, he shouldn't be able to come back to the future whatsoever.
You're
Our
right.
hero should just cease to exist. And I was going to mention this in Unverified.
That's a good point.
But there is a deleted scene. You know when Biff gets out of the DeLorean and he breaks his cane and he's kind of like sweaty? Yeah. There's more to that scene where he crawls behind a car and disappears like Marty was starting to in the first movie, saying that like he did change shit. It hasn't caught up yet, kind of thing.
Oh,
so
but they're like we didn't.
Honest to God,
flesh
it's like
that out
it's
enough
15
to deal with.
more seconds. They did the effects on it. It would have helped the plot a little bit for me.
It kind of pisses me off that he just like breaks his cane. Like,
yeah, the whole thing's just kind of weird. We got to know he's there, but.
I got it.
I don't think he should be able to get back to that at all, but like they should have kept him disappearing, maybe that deleted scene, because it does answer some plot holes for me a little bit, and I would have liked that.
At that case, then they would have.
It literally was just like
disappeared. Right?
You know the scene where he's like on the car and they're flying away above him.
No,
then there's like 5 more seconds of him fading away from existence. That's all there is. They cut that out though.
Yeah,
that would have helped.
Probably needed that. Yeah.
Okay. All right, because I didn't think we'd get down this rabbit hole. So then Marty would have disappeared.
Both of them should have probably just disappeared at that point. You would assume that like
because Doc would have never made the DeLorean.
Dude, that would have made it so confusing. Like, well, not confusing, but like, oh my god, that would have made it deeper than it needs.
There's
to be.
a can of worms there that I think a lot of problems later on might start at this one moment. Where like that shouldn't maybe take
a discussion at the very least. Yeah.
Also, animosity right after that. It takes Marty and Doc forever to realize that their town is like Biff World and so shitty. Like, there's cars on fire in the street. Like, take a hint.
Well, it was pretty run down, a couple days ago.
It is a trashy town.
Not that run down. Hill Valley did, and as you know, they had Libyan terrorists. So
True.
Bad news bears.
True.
Not
well, Doc
Libyans
brought him
great,
there.
Terrorists are bad. No, here's a question, right? So, however long it takes him to realize this is an alternate, seems like Doc figured that out pretty well. What a dipshit! He's like, I knew you'd come to this cemetery, Marty. I've been waiting here for 45 minutes to 6 days. Like, what? Why did he go search for him? Like,
again, Doc has his issues. He's not always thinking straight. He's Rick. It's Rick and Morty, Mark. He's not maybe the best. He's a good scientist. He's a genius.
It's Doc and Marty, not Rick and Morty. Come on.
I know, but it's based off them for a reason. He's flawed a little bit. Okay, Jordan.
Okay, here's a big debate. This usage, I absolutely hated Biff World, and it really took me out of the movie. Mm-hmm. But I've softened on that as I have grown up. How do you guys feel about it?
I was never super against it. I mean, you're not meant to like it. It's obviously displeasing and a kind of close glimpse of I feel like what we could have fallen into.
It's the wrong market because I think some people like it. That's just Sturgis Falls. That's South Dakota. That's
Reno, baby.
World. That's real, baby. That's real.
All right, so Mark's like, man, I wish I would have stayed in that universe. They had it all under control. I don't like at all how Marty reacts to seeing his mom not as his mom because it's too turned on.
He keeps staring at the.
It's like
Jordan, you forget the plot of the first movie. There's been a lot of sexual tension.
That's continuing on there, but like, where's the tension?
That's what I'm saying. There's
from?
Been a lot of sexual tension for him for the past week. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't like that. I don't like that. Still don't
just
like
a comment. I would say if I'm in Marty's position, we already know that Biff's bad enough that he's going to kill his father. He's ruining the family. He's ruined the earth. I think maybe they should just wait until old Biff drops off the almanac and kill that Biff.
Just shoot him. It'd be fun too.
Just shoot him. Just shoot him.
Just shoot him. You know what would be great about that? You've got your final words. Looks like you're the butthead.
Like,
and then you shoot him.
Like, it doesn't like you're going to disappear into the future. They don't have Marty's prints yet. Like, granted, 23andMe like down the road. In like Marty's 80s, they're going to be like, we don't know how you did it, but you somehow killed Biff Tannen in 1953. But I think it's worth it at that point.
Somehow Butthead is maybe the most disrespectful insult on the planet.
I can't wait for
so
it to
Butthead.
You know what? They got that right. In 2015, I was Butthead left and right. Back up, Butthead.
Stop saying
Cameron,
that.
I go back real quick. I got a little confused. When did you say you want to kill Biff?
Like, right when old Biff gives him the almanac and he clears out of there, so the timeline's continuing. Just kill Biff. I don't think him missing in the future would cause that many problems down the road.
You know, it'd be absolutely hilarious. One thing I love is everybody just.
It would change everything.
Would it? He's just going to be a car detail guy that's kind of like a whipped guy around their house. It seems.
I understand.
I have two questions when it comes out. Here's what'd be funny if they killed Biff and old Biff and Future in 2015,
Yeah.
45-year-old Marty McFly would go to prison, and that'd be hilarious because he's a fucking loser. Everybody knows it. They won't shut up about it. That guy's a loser.
Decent at guitar. You're not that great even. Also,
What
a little guitar
a loser.
sucks.
And then the second part to that, damn it, I lost my train.
Until it comes back to you, just comment, super lucky in the garage with young and old Biff in 1953 that the UCL game was just ending, because that version of the movie really is, then they sat in the garage for 3 hours until the game came and wrapped up.
Also, I would be led to believe that Sports Almanac would only have big fucking games, not regular
they're
season.
not talking
everything.
about Ohio State, Iowa.
It would have to be a 4-foot wide book to have that score in there. That wasn't the Rose Bowl. That was like a
It
mid-season.
wasn't the Rose Bowl, yeah. What is this? It's mid-January.
Shout out, though. I've always thought this as a kid, and I thought it this time watching it. They do have an Iowa Hawkeye football score in there. I'm like, fuck yeah.
Ooh, shout out.
I don't
They
know.
do.
I'm like,
That is Ohio State, Iowa.
Yeah, I'm like,
we still lost. We lost.
Well,
oh yeah.
Much
20
like
to
the
10.
Titanic, Mark. Nice to be mentioned.
Although in the 50s we were pretty good, the Iowa Hawkeyes, pretty good. The Iron Horse or whatever.
Pretty good.
I got a real question, right? Biff is dumb. But if you in high school saw an old man come up to you, have the exact same mannerisms, call you butthead, and sort of look like you, when would you think?
I didn't see the
That's me
resemblance.
from. Yeah, like, well, what would it take? Because the gene pool in this movie
I get what you're saying.
franchise is just like nothing changes.
I hope to God I can recognize myself in like a 30-year span, and I'm not that. I mean, I think I'd be smart enough to figure it out.
Jesus, dude. Oh,
Oh my God, my nose is just so.
What would you do? What would you do though?
Let yourself go, huh?
Would you be led to believe that
Or
young
maybe
you-
maybe you got trim. Who knows?
I have to think about that now. If current me showed up to like
Goddamn,
middle,
good for
if
you.
current me showed up to like middle school, would middle school me be pleased, or would be like, I guess this is him?
You're gonna do a little bit like you're gonna do a little like.
do you
Hey,
think
dude.
given that scenario you could
This
accept
guy. God.
just the truth from older you? Be like, hey, just lay it on. I'm gonna lay it on you. I'm you
Yeah,
from
I
the
see me walking up with a mustache and a
gonna
soul
believe
patch. I'll be
you.
like, lay it on me.
Okay, that's one huge animosity I have. It's quite obviously Biff.
As soon as Marty gets the almanac and he gets it like 3 different times, just run as far away from the school. Old yourself, your parents, anything you can do to make
Rip it
any
up.
more paradoxes. Just
I
get
said
as
that
far
multiple
away.
times, but like, he's gonna. It's a movie. He's gonna like chase after him.
I know, but
it's
like,
not gonna be that.
let's
easy.
not meet on
Hey,
the let's
Cameron,
not meet on
I'm
the roof of the
actually-
school. One, I don't know if that can hold the weight of a DeLorean. They're gonna fall through and crush half those kids and make a big old paradox.
Yes.
But number 2,
Cameron,
just meet downtown, meet on the outskirts, meet behind that sign where no one ever fucking is.
The
I think
sign
you had
is a
the-
good spot.
Yeah.
I think you had the right idea. You just had the wrong timeline. You go and you kill high school Biff. Just fucking unload
Yeah, that's
on
what I'm
him.
saying. As soon as he gets the
Call him a
almanac,
butthead and then take the
yeah, as soon as he's like shutting the garage, I beat him to death, and then I go back with the almanac. I'm like, well, this solves some problems.
And that's the end of that one.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, I
that's
guess
fair.
he still has to punch the George thing, and he needs to fall in love. Never mind. We have to kill him after the dance.
Yeah, I
Oh,
guess
is
you
that
do have to.
the
You have to
night
wait
after
till
the
that.
dance?
That's before the dance.
The night after the dance, his parents would be like, oh, great, he assaulted Lorraine in the parking lot. He's dead. Not a big loss.
Yeah, I think people would be like, "You should run for class president." I think that's kind of how that goes,
Was
right?
anybody nervous about him just like screaming in like 1950, like "You're gonna be my wife"?
Yeah, he's pretty aggressive.
You will-
See, that's why I'm saying
Yeah,
I don't
he's
think
aggressive.
too many people would be that upset when he was dead in his
Yeah.
garage the next morning.
Understood. Yep.
No,
and then that
nobody-
crazy Calvin Klein kid suddenly disappeared.
And what a name
Yeah,
that
'cause-
is.
And it's so much better to do a murder than because there is no record of
Yeah.
it yet.
Hear me out. This is going to cause a paradox. When Marty drops a bunch of sandbags on those kids and kills them, you can't drop weight like that on people's
That's
heads.
what I was hoping would have been in the first one, like a little.
A little glimpse of that kind of thing. You're like, what happened there?
Yeah, a little
We
glimpse.
just didn't know. We didn't know yet. We didn't know to do it.
What's the jet lag that Marty's dealing with?
Oh, well, I thought about
'Cause-
this. This is more of a movie 3 situation, but imagine this. He spent a week in the past, a couple days working on this future thing. A couple weeks in like the Old West. And then when he gets back, he's supposed to go on a camping trip with Jennifer. I want to go to bed. I want to chill in my room and watch
I'm
TV.
good.
Let's skip.
I'm good.
And all Jennifer did was get chloroformed, wake up on her porch. So she's like, "Oh, are we going camping?"
She had the best sleep of her life. You're goddamn right.
I'm ready to go camping, Marty.
Do you think that's a good sleep? Do you think that's a good sleep?
No,
I don't think so.
I don't think you're getting a lot of rest.
You wake up groggy, dude. You wake up groggy.
It's a groggy wake up, but I bet the sleep.
You're sound. Just sound
sleep. Red wine sleep. Got it.
Oh, I also just had a kind of funny, interesting thought. In that scene when Marty and Doc are back in 53 again, there are 4 time machines in that moment. There's the
count them out for me.
I actually couldn't. I was
thinking about it. So Doc and Marty, the one they show up in from the future, our current one. The one that we're
not stolen.
The one that we're going to leap from in the first movie. So the previous one.
The very first one.
Then we have the one that is there when Biff is there. That's also their same one that's stolen.
Oh yeah, I forgot about the Biff one.
And then you're forgetting about the old West one in the cave is technically already there.
Oh, I see. I wouldn't.
Okay. I completely forgot about that one, and I knew that would get summed up at the beginning of the next one. I'm like, how do we? I know that we leap from the 50s, but man, I kind of forgot it.
I forgot it too a little bit. Also, that means that Dr. Emmett Brown has always been alive with a version of his dead corpse on the earth.
Yeah, because he would have had to. Yeah. He would have had to die in the 80s,
You're
right?
Jumping from universe to universe. You're seeing moments from the first movie. I like the second a lot.
I love the second.
The second's great. I just think the first one's like a better complete. The second one's more fun. It's a romp. It's a goddamn romp.
They can do anything. Yeah.
I got a question. Yeah. What do you think Doc's doing while Marty's at the dance? I know he's out, dicking around by where he gets struck by lightning.
Seems like he's setting up.
Like honestly, he doesn't have to do anything. Yeah, all he should be doing is like waiting nearby to get him.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Like, what's he bikes like into town to get Marty, but he has nothing.
That's a good question.
He has nothing to do all day.
They cut away a couple times to him. He does end up on Main Street, the absolute fucking place he shouldn't be to talk to himself.
Yeah,
you gotta not be one place.
Yeah,
Doc.
He knows not to be there. And why wouldn't they both just follow Biff and like double their chances on someone bagging him, punching him, and taking it and running? Like,
actually, this is making my head hurt. What happens first? Because exactly? Why would he come back?
Well, he has to. He has to bike into town to get Marty out of the garage, but like he doesn't have to go down Main Street. Maybe go on a side street on the way to the high school or back to the car.
It didn't look like Biff lived on Main Street. Just go around. You're there.
Yeah, you know better.
Know you're there.
I got a question for you. Why are there so many damn manure trucks in this town, and why is that one operating so late?
Hill Valley, manure capital of the world. You know that.
Late. That one's operating.
I mean, school dance. You got to think that's maybe 10 o'clock at that point.
That's a little late.
Oh wait, no, we know it's close to midnight because of the clock tower. Never mind, it's very late. That's weird.
Let's check the BAL on that guy.
So you'd like to see what's happening with that guy and his, I'll tell you why, Cameron, because the day earlier.
That's true.
His shipment of manure got crashed into by Biff's car again.
Okay, you got to think at that point.
Actually, what is that, 2 weeks?
Not even. It's like a full week. You got to think at that point.
I'll tell you what. Do an advertisement for that body shop. Not bad work.
Really? That was like
detailing and doing whatever you had to do.
Within a couple days.
I'd love to see that second appointment. So you got hit by another manure truck?
No, I hit both of them.
Our same guy?
Our same one when you hit Dave's manure again?
We need our manure.
Oh, can I do a trickle down Mean Biff's grandson in the future? Yeah. His crew got a little more progressive. He had a girl and an Asian person in his crew.
We were thinking ahead. We got there.
Oh, I got a question on that quote. And take this out if I'm wrong. Does she go, "You have no scrote"?
Yep.
Does she say the word scrote?
I believe so.
Did I hear wrong?
Yeah, short for scrotum, yes.
No, I understand that.
I didn't. But then
I just needed to make sure. I'm like, did we just hear scrote?
Yeah, it's weird. It's weird. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, you're right.
You can't just shorten scrotum to scrote. You just can't do it.
Question for you. What's the over-under on Wells Fargo delivering that letter that had very specific demands in the Old West? Doc Brown's going to walk into Wells Fargo, say that, and they're going to be like, "Sure, buddy." Trash. As soon as he walks out. They're not going to hold, "Oh, sure, I'll hang on to this for 70 years and wait for this exact moment to send somebody out in a wagon."
Minute. Yeah, exact minute. Yeah, you're right. That's stunning.
That letter did not exist. And also, you probably shouldn't open that delicate paper in the rain.
Yeah. That would have disintegrated.
I knew you were going to say that, and that's fucking hilarious.
That would have disintegrated.
I didn't write anything down. I was going to wait for someone to say it. You just can't pull out paper in the rain like that. You
Not old paper.
Not do it.
Not old paper. Yeah.
Not new paper.
Yeah, you shouldn't do it with any paper.
You shouldn't do it.
If that was a fresh sheet of paper from 1955 on that day, we got smudged and ruined. It was raining heavy. That storm ruined the clock tower, for Christ's sake.
The storm ruined the clock tower. It's a big storm.
Oh, again, inconsistent. It's
also,
raining.
It's
raining for Marty. It's not raining downtown. It stops immediately after the lightning. Little inconsistent on the rain.
No.
That's an animosity about the storm in general. It does abruptly end, but sometimes that happens in the summer. The real animosity is that Marty jogs 7 miles into town. It's California, right? It was California? I don't know, actually.
Jordan, you forget that Marty's jogged 7 miles into town like 3 times recently. Like he's done.
Yeah, in the last 3 days.
Yeah, he's gotten in pretty good shape. He's been on foot more than he ever has. He's skating.
I'm so mad about that.
So we saved Marty's kids from going to prison, and we saved for now, and we saved George from dying. But is there anything to stop Marty from being a goddamn loser in 19? Like, we haven't fixed that, have we?
Third movie, car accident, chicken, Rolls Royce. We'll get there. We're getting there.
Oh yeah.
But the answer is,
I don't think that fixes him being
to answer your question though, if that's
he
what
can
was
still
holding
shred, right?
if that's what was holding him back, I don't think it was going to work out anyway. You know,
how many 80s plot points of time travel movies is shredding a big part of it? We have to be famous musicians.
Be it the guitar, be it the mountain, you got to shred your way to the top, bro.
What's sad is the big wave of
the only way to the top is to shred.
That's the only way to do it.
You must shred at that point in time. You gotta shred. Oh, I can't do this one without saying I absolutely love how much that guy in 1955, after he's an extra, he's a glorified extra, maybe a feature day player. I think that guy just stole his wallet. That line kills for me. I want him to say it 2 more times. I can't get enough of that. I will quote that now.
I know our family quotes it a lot, but I was happy when Chris turned to me. I was watching with our friend, also turned to me and was like, I think he stole his wallet. So I think everybody loves that guy. You know,
that guy might be the best extra.
That guy's fucking hilarious.
Oh, I got a question. This was a little confusing. All right. At the end of the first movie, Biff kind of becomes this cuckold guy or whatever and still works for the person he sexually assaulted.
Weird.
But then in 2015, he's a big-ass bully again. So, like, what happened in between there? He's just always been a bad guy. And
I mean, people, you stop caring as much, you know how it is. Olds.
You listen up, you little butthead.
I'll be honest, I'd put a ring on 1955 Biff versus George McFly.
Both are a mistake, I think.
There's some red flags.
Question is though, how into peanut brittle
I'm into
are
Biff.
You?
Very actually.
How into peanut brittle are you? Because there's pros and cons for everybody.
And toffee, very, very much so.
I like a high and tight. I don't know.
I'll say this though, ballsy of Strickland to go up to people after we know he's going into his office and slamming cups of like something, being like, I smell hard liquor. Yeah, it's me. It's like totally me, bro. But I would go up to every kid and be like, I smell alcohol in the air, and just see if I get something to flip, you know? Maybe that's a good tactic.
Dude, that's
you smell like liquor.
I don't think it was illegal back
totally acceptable. Drinking on the job.
Well, he didn't find that sexual assault that happened right in front of his fucking eyes, so, you know. There are some blind spots there.
Well, on that note, should we move it on to our recasting? Recasting. We gave it to you last week, so if you want to compare, go back and check out part 1. But we're doing it again for you. We're going to fly through this quick. Let's start with George. Who'd you guys have as George since he had limited screen time?
I've got Matthew Modine. I actually thought he could do good in the first one, too. He's the pilot in Memphis Belle, but you may know him most recently from Stranger Things. He is Papa from Stranger Things.
Oh.
I did Rob Lowe, I guess, last week.
Oh, nice.
Because just for the weirdness.
I like Rob Lowe. I think I said that last week, too.
Mark, who'd you have as George?
Last week I did Judge Reinhold.
I like that.
This week I'm doing Rick Moranis.
Yeah, that makes sense. You know.
Man, I know we've said it before.
He can be nerdy, like, whatever.
I would love to hear him say, well, when you're right, you're right.
I modernized it. I did Jay Burchell. How to Train Your Dragon. She's out of your league.
So you did a voice thing.
Kind of, yeah, a little bit.
Okay. Nice.
Let's do Lorraine. Let's just keep it together. Last week, I think I did Winona Ryder. No, that was my Jennifer. I can't remember now. This week, I'm going Elizabeth Banks. I haven't used her in a while.
I definitely thought of that for sure.
Jennifer is just so.
I'm doing Lorraine.
Oh, you're doing Lorraine?
Oh, Lorraine.
Yes. Elizabeth Banks.
Yeah, I thought that. So last week I did Amy Adams.
I think I did too.
Did Amy Adams. Oh, we both did. This week I'm doing Jenna Fisher, Pam from The Office.
Yeah, I like that.
Definitely it looks like, definitely it sounds like, not inspired, but what do you want from me?
I'm fine with that.
Last week I did Jennifer Grey.
Cool with that.
Just she gets young and old. I feel like do some.
Sure.
This week I'm doing Mary Steinbergen.
Of course you are. We have to get her in somewhere. She will be making an appearance in the next one.
You want them, you can have them. Those are talking about her fake boobs. Yeah, Mom, I love your big. You're big. Ugh.
How about Jennifer now, since I kind of mixed it up anyway? I did Winona Ryder last week. This week I'm doing Robin Wright, Princess Bride. Mark, did you do her last week?
No, I did Winnie Cooper.
Oh, okay.
Danica McKellar.
Jordan, you're doing Jordan, did you do Robin Wright?
I legitimately wrote down Robin Wright, and I'm like, man, I killed it. It actually might make the movie better, but whatever. Last week, I guess I did Molly Ringwald.
Yep, you kept it 80s. I remember that.
Sure.
I'll do Topanga, whatever her name is.
Danielle Fisher from Boy Meets World.
Fishel.
Oh, Danielle Fishel.
I gotta say, I did write it down. Robin Wright's great.
Hey, two great minds think alike, babe.
You know her, Jenny from Forrest Gump and
Princess Bride.
Let's
do Biff. We're saying this is kind of his movie. I'm doing Ben Affleck.
You're doing Ben Affleck like Days and Confused.
I'm essentially doing that,
yep.
Yeah. Last week, I can't remember who I had, but it was really good. Oh, it was Brendan Fraser.
Yeah. Oh, and I love how you did Fraser.
I switched.
He's just moving.
He wants to change. I'm changing for him. It's pronounced Fraser. He told me.
That's fair.
Brendan Fraser.
Cameron, me and you both had Brendan Fraser last week.
What do you got this week?
I'm doing Vince Vaughn.
I thought about that last week, funny enough, so I get it.
I like that. He's meaner. It's quippier.
Yeah.
It's taller.
True. Intimidating.
The height disparity between him and Marty McFly would be unbelievable. Okay, so last week I did Gary Busey, and I actually think that one's still pretty fucking good.
I would have just made his son this week and kept up Busey train going. Jake Busey.
What's his name? Jake Busey? I'm not going to do that. If Jake Busey makes a cut, that's definitely number 3. This week, kind of weird, but I went
Kiefer Christmas with the Cranks.
Yeah, he's a cop.
Yep.
Yeah,
true. He's 100% a cop, right?
With Cheech and Chong.
Understood.
Go back and listen to our Christmas with the Cranks episode. This week I'm doing Kiefer Sutherland, 80s villain, maybe a little too gruffy and griff, but I'm into it.
Works in Stand By Me. I'm fine with it.
His lead poisoning would be. Anybody got a good Kiefer?
No.
Nope.
No, don't.
Lead. Nope. He's in Lost Boys, and I'm actually drawing more so, and it's probably time wise from Stand By Me.
Yeah. That makes
Zach
sense.
Kiefer.
Sure.
How about our docs? I don't remember what I did last week. This week, I'm doing Jeff Goldblum, current Jeff Goldblum.
Oh, man, I've told you, there's so much crossover. I didn't do him, but I've definitely saving him for number 3.
Still use it. You can still use it.
Jeff Goldblum, that's pretty good. I think last week
Eccentric.
I did Wallace Shawn.
Oh, yeah,
so this
Inconceivable.
week I'm doing Buscemi. Steve Buscemi.
Ooh,
that'll be fun.
I like that one.
I'm fine with that.
Damn, I didn't think about that one. I like that one a lot, actually. So last week,
you did Christopher Walken last week.
I did Christopher Walken. I think.
I did Jim Carrey last week. That's right.
Oh, that's what you did. Yep.
So this week, I stand by this one.
Walken and Carrey are good though.
I stand by this one. Gene Wilder, I think would.
Oh, that'd be pretty good.
That's perfect. Sort of
like really good.
Yeah.
It might be my better one.
21 gigawatts. His yell would be in there for sure.
Yeah, he yells like a motherfucker, and you can believe him being a scientist.
Last and not least, what about our Martys? Last week, I can't remember who I did. This week, I'm doing John Cusack.
I get it.
Right.
Yep.
He's fun.
Keep it 80s.
That's
Young
perfect.
Cusack,
Yeah,
too.
oh,
You
yeah,
can
of
take him
course.
from his teen days. I'm with it. A thing about Marty, he's kind of a dick, right?
True.
John Cusack kind of plays dicks.
He's bitey. He's a bit bitey with some of his delivery. Yeah. Who do you guys have as your Martys?
Last week I did Steve from Full House.
Okay.
This week I'm
because you said his name and we were like, who? They're like, Steve.
Scott Weinger.
There we go.
I'm doing Matthew Broderick.
Okay. Jordan's gonna hate that.
I totally thought that a lot. No, I do. But if it's Ferris Bueller, Matthew Broderick,
That makes
we're
sense,
all in.
yeah.
If it's Matthew Broderick, we're all out. Right? You know what I mean?
Well, so
I think if you put Ferris Bueller as Marty McFly, that
works good for
that
me.
plays.
Jordan, who you have?
Last week, just to reiterate, I had Lord of the Rings.
Elijah Wood. He's in this movie.
I had Elijah Wood, who does make a cameo in this movie.
Last week I did Robert Downey Jr. That's right.
This one, I've got it. I thought about this, and it plays for me. I'm going Emilio.
Okay. I'm done with Emilio Estevez. Similar body type.
Emilio Estevez.
That works.
Similar body types, but also, can you think of somebody who does not want to get called a chicken?
That's true.
That guy.
I see him actually taking offense to that. Yeah, and it would work great for the Western part. Billy Kid.
What about Charlie as Biff?
I thought about doing
Charlie
a duo.
Sheen.
I definitely thought about it. I should have done it.
Save it for next week. We can do it. Tune in next
Somebody
week.
take
We're
that.
going to be recasting the same crew again, so we'll see you then. But we're going to move on to Mount Rushmore. Top 4.
Top 4.
Mount Rushmore. Top 4.
Welcome to Mount Rushmore. This week we're doing iconic cars in movies. I'm going first. It's going to be me, Mark, Jordan this week. I just have to take the most iconic car. Whatever
What do you think?
iteration it may be, it's the Batmobile to me.
Yeah,
it's got to be the Batmobile. If you're going to
I
say a
thought he was
favorite,
going there.
mine has to be probably the original
Begins.
or like Val Kilmer, maybe Forever. Just the first 3. I like the first 3.
Dude, the Batman Begins though with like the
tank. Yeah.
That's pretty fucking sick.
I love what they did, but to me, the Batmobile should be a little goofy. Obviously, like alluding to
The
like,
Tim Burton
Adam West days.
goofiness.
But
Yep.
Tim Burton, that's the one I first loved, and that's the one I like.
With like the
I get
bat
it.
wings on the back. Like,
Yeah, I want a car that has a jet on the back and can't go over a bump. It's so low to the ground.
I
When I hear
wasn't.
Batmo-
Sorry, go ahead.
No, when I hear Batmobile, that's what I
Yeah, I think of that one too.
Is that goofy sort of comic book.
When I was getting toys, that was the Batmobile that was coming out, and it was specifically the
Yep.
Freeze one, so it had a bunch of ice and dumb shit on it.
Great choice. Great choice.
Mark, you're up next. What's your iconic car?
It's got a song. It's old.
Yep,
It's got
I'm with
lore. Bada bada bum bum. Chitty chitty bang.
Chitty
bang.
Chitty Bang Bang. Okay.
Ooh, did
ain't
not
nothing wrong
see
with
that
that.
coming.
Childhood classic.
Childhood classic. I think it's like it's like a Volkswagen. No, it's just its own thing.
A movie as a
Chitty
kid,
Chitty Bang
I
Bang.
always confuse with Bed Knobs and Broomsticks.
I confuse it with Herbie, the love.
That makes sense too. It's just the names for some reason. Bed Knobs and Broomsticks, Chitty Chitty Bang Bang. I'm like, oh, they're both fun.
Chitty Chitty Bang Bang is its own thing.
It's
I
its
couldn't
own
tell you
thing.
what the real car. 1968's Chitty Chitty Bang Bang.
Nice choice, nice choice. Jordan, what's your number 3?
It's the Echo One. Who are you gonna call? Ghostbusters.
Oh, that makes
I mean,
sense. I don't even have that on my
can't
list.
be that. That was such a big car for me as a kid. If I had money to throw away, like I love the Echo One. It's iconic. You know who it is.
Even look good in
It's
the new
Ghostbusters.
movie. Same one, but you know. Well, with that, we have our honorable mentions to fill out our number 4. I'm going to throw just an off one. Austin Powers. He has a couple different shaggin'
Ooh,
wagons.
the shaggin'
He has like
wagon.
a new one in each movie, but they're all fun cars. But it's an iconic one for him.
Also, the
Dumb and
subcategory is his big sexy jumbo jet, baby.
I thought
Yeah,
about that.
baby.
Different, but still,
Yeah,
an
baby,
iconic
yeah.
vehicle.
It's a flyer. It's a
Mark,
flyer.
you said Dumb and Dumber. That's high up on the list. I mean, that's an iconic car.
The
that
dog
one
part,
actually.
yeah.
Is,
It was honestly, I thought about saying that before Batman. Knight Rider, whole show about the man in his car, so that's kind of got to make the list.
Grease Lightning,
Oh, Grease Lightning. Go back and see our
yeah,
episode
that
of Grease.
actually is a good one.
Yeah, good call. Keep
Mad Max.
Yeah, Mad Max, the crazy futuristic cars or dystopian cars.
You got to go James Bond's Aston Martin DB5.
Yeah, that's
I mean,
true.
Aston
That
Martin
all,
is a class.
that's maybe classy enough that deserves the 4 spot as far as movies go.
they obviously
It does.
take that, redo the Aston Martin in many of the different Bonds, but it's
Still a sleek,
it's
sexy car.
specifically Sean Connery's. You
Yeah.
know, if you were going to pick one of them, it's that one.
We talked about it before, but Ferris Bueller's Day Off, Cameron's dad's car, obviously.
The Ferrari is
Ferrari's
pretty
nice
iconic,
in that
actually.
one.
Apparently, that was it's not a Ferrari.
Oh, what is it? Just some.
What?
It's like some bullshit remake that they try to make look like.
Oh,
Oh, really?
interesting.
That I.
Oh, so maybe it wasn't that much when it went off the edge. Shout out to Mark, the van and grind with the spray paint job. Not that iconic, but for us, maybe.
I do not remember that one.
Especially
big
like
on grind.
cars that have an. What's the Scooby-Doo one?
Oh, the Mystery Machine. Oh, the Mystery Machine
Classic.
definitely deserves to be on there.
So I think that's an iconic car in all of like media, but because the movies are kind of reboots.
Okay. I mean, the DeLorean is maybe
The most
it's
iconic.
top 3, right?
I mean,
It says recognizable. I mean, you know it is.
It might be.
it
Yeah,
shows
might
up
be
on all
top
the
1.
lists for iconic movie cars. It's like that and the Batmobile. So I think that's what they've decided for us. Fast
So
and the
this
Furious.
isn't for me, but it's-
Toretto's car.
Which one?
It's a. I think it's a. What is it? 1970s Corvette.
I can't remember, but it's the one he's afraid of because his dad crashed it or
The
whatever.
black
Yeah,
one.
that one.
This isn't as much for me, but you got to say Smoking the Bandit, the Pontiac Trans Am.
Oh
for
shit.
that.
We're freaking like
Dukes of Hazzard.
Starsky and Hutch.
Yeah.
Dukes of Hazzard.
Classic
Dukes of
cars.
Hazzard would be
Fucking
on there.
Bumblebee.
Bumblebee. Yeah, I guess
Bumblebee would
anything
be
from
mine, they would.
Transformers. Shout out to a bad car, Wayne's World. His little blue like Toyota thing.
I thought about that, but I didn't know if it could like stand up. But yeah,
Sticks
I
out
do.
of my mind. I can't remember the
Oh.
car, but John Wick. I mean, the whole thing with his car in the first movie, most of it.
Yeah. I think
The
that's
1969
very
Mustang,
similar
but-
to the Fast and Furious one.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm looking at a list, and I don't disagree with this one, but I would have never thought about it. From Jurassic Park.
Oh, those Jeeps.
they're
Oh, the
1990
Jeeps.
Oh yeah, go back and see our
Totally,
Jurassic Park
totally.
episode. But totally, yeah, those are iconic as shit.
I wouldn't have thought about it. That's not credit to me. That's somebody's list on the internet. But
That's fair.
Yeah.
No, I actually, I would put the.
We have a kitten in distress over there.
It's feeding time. She likes to talk
So-
while she's waiting for food.
Ferris Bueller's Day Off is a Modena GT Spider.
Oh,
it is not a
interesting.
Ferrari.
It's not a Ferrari.
Mark is
Yep.
right.
Man,
Well, let us know what you thought of our list of iconic cars and hit us up on social media for some of your favorite ones that we forgot. And thanks for listening to our take on Back to the Future, Part 2. If you like what you heard, make sure you like and subscribe on your favorite podcast app, rate and review. If you want more content, check out the whole Majestic Jam Network. I'm Not Crazy, Urban Hermit Podcast, the High Wire Podcast. And until then, we'll check you on the next episode, Back to the Future, Part 3, where we're going, we need steam trains.
bye.